So now that we created two different timelines, it's good to know how to export them, how to import other different timelines from other different programs, and how to conform properly media from another, project, another timeline. And you have to know that on file, right there is everything you need to import and export files. Obviously, if you want to be safe, you always want to export project or import project. In that way, you won't just import medias and timelines, but you will import all the bins, how the projects have been managed, how files have been located, and everything will be, cleaner on this organizing part, and I like it most. But if you just want to export an XML for obviously another program, you just have to go on File, Import Timeline or Export Timeline. In that case, let's watch on importing a timeline, and that would be import AAF, EDL, XML. These three extensions are the most commonly used in cinema on editing programs, and you just want to press that, and we're going to look at our file. So that way I have it there, but just by going into our folder 1, I will go into timeline files, XML folder, and here we will have the Final Cut Pro XML file. Just by opening it, the program will ask us, you want to set the project settings from this timeline? I say yeah. You want to automatically import source clips into the media pool? I will say yeah, because I don't have these files from this project, but you may already have it. You may already be editing on a program, on a project with clips, and you just need that timeline. You don't want to duplicate these clips, so you want to uncheck this. But by the way, this depends on what you're doing. You can say to the program to use the sizing information or the color information. In that case, the file I'm going to import our file from a GH5, so I'm going to say yes, use color information. And you can set the time resolution to the specific resolution from that specific project, that specific timeline. So by the way, right now I want to set it in that way. I will press OK, and the program will say to me that 7 clips were not found. So we will tell them where to find these clips. So by saying yeah, select another folder to search, we will tell him that we have it on our desktop. So desktop, color grading masterclass, Icardi, footage, OK. And now everything pops up in that way. What I said earlier about importing project is that because in that way we have our super clean timeline. As you can see, everything it's as I made on the other project. But the thing that I'm not cool with is that is creating all this messiness and everything is not well organized. So remember that if you want to stay organized with timelines, you just have to move projects and not timeline. But it's obvious that if you are working with an editor that is using Premiere or a Final Cut, you are obligated to export AAF or XML timelines. XML are the most powerful one, by the way, and the most common used between editing programs. So by the way, on that method, with that method, I will create a new bin. I will call it Icardi. That, by the way, stands for light. And I will take all these clips. I will drag them here. And I'll have everything organized in a proper way. That's the most common way to create a timeline. Another way is just by going into media, and maybe you are working with an editor that has a really heavy timeline. Let's say the blue timeline. I'm going into the color grading masterclass folder, and on the folder 2 on footage, you'll have the flat timeline from blue. And you may say, okay, let me deactivate the audio. This is a really heavy timeline and it has lots of cuts, and how can I just take it with all the cuts if this one it's a unique file? It's really simple. DaVinci has this really handy tool that is called scene cut detection. You can come to this just by right clicking there, scene cut detection. By opening up scene cut detection, you just have to press to auto scene detect, and the program will go through my main file and will detect all the cuts from the original file. And the cool thing about this is that is basically saying to me, hey, we have 34 cuts, and that's the timeline code. These are the reference frame, and you can just drag all these points, and you can use the short keys that are N for next and P for previous, and you can just come to the first cut, and what you want to do is just fix the problem that DaVinci may have created. In my case, it hasn't created not even one problem, and problem stands for missing cuts or cuts not placed in the right part of the program. And you can spot, wrong cuts when you don't have two equal clip on the right side and one different one on the left side. What you want to do is just with N and P, going like on this cut where we have 3 equal frames, and just press delete, and it will erase that cut. Don't know why it's not doing this, maybe because it's the first one, but yeah, by delete. Okay, now I delete it. Going to the next one, that's okay. It detected perfectly all my clips, but it may happen that the program may, make a wrong cut if you have lots of different clips. In this case, we have different colors, different types of images, so it's really easy for him. We are coming to the end, and yeah, well done, DaVinci Resolve. That's a great cut, and that's the final one. You may don't want to split that one, so delete. And after this, you want to press Add Cuts to Media Pool, and by doing this, DaVinci Resolve it's adding all these cuts in form of clips into my timeline. What I can do with that is just going to edit and create a new timeline in that way. That's by taking them and importing them into my timeline. Same thing, new bin, let's call it blue, and I'm gonna take them all from there and I'm gonna import them into this bin. And as you can see, everything sits in a perfect way on my timeline. Obviously, if I want to customize the resolution of this timeline, I just have to press on timeline settings, and I can use my custom settings that for this one are the one with the scopes at 239. And here we have it. You have your edited timeline. If you want to work on the color grade of it, you have all the different cuts, and that's the best and handy way if you are working with a unique file. So both these methods are great. You want to always be organized, so if you're working between different machines with DaVinci Resolve, you just want to export the project, or even better, as said, the database. But if you don't want to, if you're working on another program, just export the XML, or just let them send you an entire video file, and you'll be able to conform it in the proper way and making your custom timeline.